Hello everybody, Barra here from Low Energy Services, where I take already available scrap and turn it into renewable energy devices. Please join me, subscribe for the evolution of even this turbine to where it is now producing 48 volts per phase and the battery charger is drawing 1.3 ampere per phase. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the next part. It's starting now. So the next range of turbines are going to be made from these old cast iron wheels. I'll fit buckets here and it'll be a braced shot. So it'll just water will enter just over halfways on the wheel or halfways on the wheel and give her a good spin. And with the weight of the outer wheel and the buckets of water, that'll give me enough torque on this side to generate plenty of amps. Voltage is determined by speed and amps are determined by the weight. So on the other side it's really easy to push, and on this side you have to get a bit of motion in her to get her turning. So load versus torque. The more torque you have, the more load or amps you can have. And you can see there, she's no bearings or anything in her, she's just a lovely free wheel out of it. So I've just finished the first bucket using galvovan and screws and a bean tin. Could be called an industrial bean tin. It's not fixed to the wheel yet, but this is what I'm going to go for. I'm going for them on the side of the wheel. It'll be a braced shot, meaning it's coming in here, but I'm doing that because of the turn, the buckle in the wheel. And the buckle's actually in the spokes, I think. You can see it there. So I'm not going to chance trying to straighten it. So to work with what I have, this is what I have. So I'm just going to make a few buckets. Okay, great. So long as that holds there, I'll be doing all right. So what I'm going to use is bean tins from a delicatessen or something like that. They're a lot bigger. They're tin. They are wrapping in plastic. That can all be taken off, but I don't know, it's meant to be durable, so it might help the tin obviously be taking the labels off after a while. I'm going to wrap it in tub tape. So I started wrapping my bean tins with tub tape and using tack screws to fit them together. It's a fairly simple thing to build, and whenever it's all fitted together it looks good and it runs really well. I kept them to the side, as I said before, because of an imbalance in my wheel, which I will be working through over the series of videos. Next I have to take the hub off the back, or the stub that was on the back, and I'm going to use a Kango to knock out the pin at the start. I seen this on YouTube or somewhere. It's a very handy trick. And then putting my vice grips on the back and pulling it out, which just left me to knock the hub off the back. I then built a uni-strut bracket on the base of the original farm machine, and that gave me room that I could hang my rotor and stator, which is built on an old piece of machinery. Next I need to build cogs or some way for my main axle to pull the pulley on the top to turn the rotor for my generator hub. So I got building at that. I had to look for something, but luckily enough in the shed I had a little motor with a tooted hub on it, or tooted pulley on it. So I machined down the pulley on my old Atlas lathe. It's very useful around the workshop, and it means I get jobs like this just done as soon as I think of them instead of having to ship them out. It's very crude looking at the minute, and I do promise it does get better as we go. I done a wild thing with the rotor and the stator. Whenever I wired the stator, I wired each coil individually down to a coil connection box. It did mean that I could check each coil whenever I wanted to check them, But as you see here, it just meant an awful lot to deal with on the turbine. So I have come away from this, but to get me going, this is what got me out of the hole. So let's get it wet and see what it looks like. In the water, of course, it looks class, but is it performing well? 0.06 of a volt is what we were getting here. And then I turned it round and I was getting 0.6 volts. So every time I touch it, it seems to do something better. You'll also see in this part here how full the pipe seems whenever it's coming into it. The direction's a lot better for a brace shot to come in on the inside. It means I can back out the outside of it. In my next couple of videos, I'll be showing how I made the paddles for it, so it's a paddle turbine, and the evolution of even the charging parts and everything else. So please, if you like what you're seeing, subscribe. I am on all social media channels, but this is my first properly made YouTube video. Well, edited, because it's edited from a lot. So thank you very much. Goodbye.